Good morning. Let me tell you this story about a man named Pop. In 1987, I found myself in a terrible situation, and I felt like I couldn't get out of the situation. The prison system, and I met this man named Pop. And Pop had been there for I'd say about 22 years. And they had this thing in the penitentiary where you don't ask another person about their time. So, everybody was talking about Pop. Pop was this old white man, skinhead with tattoo all over his head. So, he can be intimidated and looking all crazy and stuff, but I didn't care about that. I was already crazy my damn self. So when they stuck me in that room with Pop, he had his rules, and the first thing he said was, "You got the top bunk, I got the bottom bunk. If you got friends here, nobody come in the room and sit on my bunk." So I was cool with that. I was glad to climb up there because I feel I was young at the time, and he was an old school dude. He had been there, just doing his time and stuff. So I would get up every morning and go over to the kitchen. I worked in KP, in the kitchen personnel. I started out as a dishwasher, washing dishes and stuff. Nasty job, but, I didn't care. Nobody wanted that job, and nobody would talk to you when you was in the tray room. So I'm sitting in the tray room, washing the dishes, minding my business. They throw the food, I throw all the stuff in there, dump it out, spray it out, keep it moving, just keep it moving, get in the zone. So as I'm in the zone and stuff, about 2 or 3 hours later, I go back to the dorm, go into the room, change my clothes, head to the gym, shoot some hoops, basketball. I did that for like 3 solid months. Every day, 7 days a week, because I worked in the kitchen 7 days a week. There was no day off. In prison, they don't take a day off. They don't take holidays off. There's no such thing as you get a day off for your birthday, none of that stuff. So this is what happened. One day, I came from shooting basketball. I walked in the room, and Pop was sitting on the edge of the bed. Pop was like, "Let me ask you something." I said, "Yes, sir." He said, "Are you going to the NBA?" I said, "What?" He said, "Are you going to the NBA?" I say, "No, what do you mean?" He said, "Well, every day you get up, you go to the kitchen, you come back, you go over there to the gym, shoot basketball, then you go back to the kitchen. What are you learning? Young man, you are here for a very long time. You don't understand the magnitude of the time that you got." And at the time, I had a 30-year sentence, and I was just following along with everybody else. There was no blueprint. There was no roadmap. I didn't know what to do. So, and, I asked nobody either. So Pop took this time to sit me down, and Pop said, "You go into the gym and shooting basketball with these guys every single morning. You're not learning nothing. All you're doing is come back all sweaty, tired, and then you have to go on that job. What you should do with your time, you should utilize your time properly. Like when you go in there to the kitchen, then you come back, go down to the law library and read to show their self-approval. Go read and understand about the whole setup, how the system got all the young people coming into the system, bringing them in, shooting them back out, just like cattle." So I'm sitting there talking to Pop, and Pop was serious about this too. He didn't smile or nothing. So the next day, I got up, went into the kitchen, but this time I came back to the dorm, and Pop was getting ready to go to the weight pile. And at the time, I was about, I'd say about 115 pounds, soaking wet. And so Pop said, "You want to go work out?" I said, "Sure." So I went down to the weight yard with Pop, and he showed me how to pick up the weights, hold the weights, move around with the weights and stuff. And it was like, man, I said, this is too easy. So I was going fast. You know, when you young, you dumb, you don't care about nothing. You just want to just get it over with and do it. Then Pop was like, yo, man, you need to pace yourself. Pace yourself. You just getting into a hurry. Just slow down. Pace yourself. So at that time, boy, I was doing it so much. And then one morning I woke up, good gracious, I couldn't even feel my arms. My arm was so tight. It was like burning. I mean, it was burning so bad. And I was like, God, Pop, what's wrong? He said, I told you, take your time. You can't rush through this. You can't rush through your time. You can't rush through whatever you're doing, whatever you got going on in your head. You need to slow down, take your time. So at that time, boy, that pain was excruciating, but I enjoyed it. So every day when I came from the kitchen, me and Pop, I meet Pop, we go down to the weight pile, and he showed me how to do bench press, showed me how to work my shoulders, showed me how to do bicep, showed me how to do tricep, showed me how to work my core, showed me how to do thighs, showed me how to do calf muscle. I mean, Pop was on it. This joke was built. And I said, man, I'm gonna be just like that. And Pop said, in due time, it's a season for everything that you are doing. And you have to wait your turn. So 7 years go by, I say about 2 years, me and Pop, we done became real tight. And Pop used to say this all the time. All the time. Pop would always say this. If you walk long enough and you talk long enough, you tell the story. Don't let nobody else tell your story. They're not gonna tell it the way that you tell it. So I started listening to Pop. I mean, cause, you know, he'd been there 22 years. I mean, I was there for only about 2 years. And then one day me and Pop, we was like walking, and I started asking Pop. I was asking Pop a lot of questions and stuff. I say, yo, Pop, I say, how did you figure out how to do your time and stuff? He say, well, first of all, you got to learn how to forgive yourself. Forgive yourself when you mess up, but don't forget to make it a learning lesson. And so, talking to Pop, and Pop was like, whatever you got going on in your mind, you need to get it off your mind. Don't think about nothing at home. Forget about home. This is your home now. So as we walking around the compound, me and Pop, we just, walking, talking. Next thing you know, about 2 or 3 more guys. They call it, when you walking on the compound, they call it get in the car. So about 3 or 4 more other guys got in the car with me and Pop, and we walking. Next thing you know, we got about 15, 20 guys walking. We walking a 30-acre compound. And so at that time, I'm talking and Pop, and I'm talking about motivation, and I'm talking about, hey, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make sure I do this, and I'm gonna work out. I'm gonna take care of myself. Then I'm gonna change my mindset and stuff. So later on that day, after we was walking and stuff, so everybody went their separate ways back to their dorm. So me and Pop, we walking, and we come back up to the dorm and stuff. So Pop was like, listen, you see, when we be walking, you see how all them guys come, they not coming for me. They coming to listen to you because you are motivating them. You are motivating them. He said, I'm gonna tell you something. So that night we went back to the dorm. So me and Pop was sitting down talking. Pop say, this is what I want you to do. I want you to say something that you know gonna get you in trouble, but you got to say it. I said, okay. I say, What do I say? He said, no, you got to think of what you want to say. He said, it got to come from you. He said, I'm going to show you the belief system. You got to have imagination while you here. So the first thing came out my mouth was, I'm going home today. So the next day, Pop said, got to keep your word. You got to say it every single day. Every single day, you got to say it. I'm going home. I'm going home. Every single day, you got to say that. So the next morning, I got up, went to the kitchen. I was in the kitchen. I'm cooking, cleaning up and stuff. Then I say, man, I'm going home today. Man, what did I say that for? Man, the other inmates, man, they was cussing me out. Ah, nigga, you not going home. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, man, you got 30 years. There's no way you going home. And I was like, boy, that shit like ripped my heart out, ripped my stomach out. I was feeling so bad. I was like, boy, I can't say that no more. So later on that day, I get back to the dorm. I say, Pop, I said, I'm going home. I mean, everybody tripping. They looked at me crazy. He say, you see? He say, say it again tomorrow. So the next day, I got up, but this time, he made me say it on the yard. I say, I'm going home. And nigga turned, stopped in the middle of the track. He said, nigga, you just got here. You ain't going home. Nigga, you only been here 2 years on the 30-year sentence. You're not going home. And I was like, boy, man, I don't know if I can keep doing this, but, you know, I took Pop at his word. And so later on that afternoon, me and Pop was walking around the yard, and all of a sudden, Pop started coughing. And I didn't know what's wrong. Pop like, you know, he was just coughing and grabbing his chest and stuff. So as we're walking, I said, Pop, you okay? He said, no, I got to go up to the infirmary. So he went up to the infirmary, which is our hospital for prison. So he was up there for a good little bit and stuff. So later on that afternoon, I noticed the COs come down to the room, and they was gathering up Pop's stuff. They were taking him out the room. And then they say, yo, you ain't on the top no more. You on the bottom. I say, no, that's Pop's space. They say, you ain't got to worry about him. He not coming back. I said, what you mean he not coming back? Well, he had pneumonia and he died. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. No. I mean, this was my buddy. I mean, this was somebody I had in my corner to talk with. You know, I ain't care about nothing. It was like, man, God, I couldn't believe it. And all of a sudden, just like that, Pop was gone. And I was just sitting there. I had made it down to his spot. And I was sitting there. And I was thinking, I said, they gonna bring crazy motherfucker in the room with me and stuff. I was just thinking all kind of stuff. And so they brought this other dude in. And I did exactly what Pop said. You know, put him up there. You can't sit on my bed. You can't bring nobody in the room. Nothing like that. Because I feel I was the big dog. I had been there 2.5 years. And, you know, I learned a lot from Pop. So, you know, they don't have a fruit or nothing like that in prison. You know, when you dead, you dead. You gone. So I'm sitting there. And one day I was just thinking, I say, boy, I'm going to do exactly what Pop said. I said, every morning, I'm going to get up and say, I'm going home. I don't care what nobody say. I don't care. I'm saying it. I say, I got to honor Pop. I got to do something great for Pop. Because Pop saved me, man. He got my mind right, man. He started pushing me. It was like magic. You know, so as the days going by, I'm saying, I'm going home. They persecute me. About 6 months later, I'm going home. They still talking junk. It's about the next 3 or 4 years. I'm going home. Everybody, oh man, they start not paying me no attention. About 10 years later, I said, I'm going home. You might hear somebody, oh man, that nigga been saying that for 10 years and he still ain't went home. Okay, about 13 years later, I'm going home. But man, God, this nigga still talking about going home and he ain't went home yet. So I remember it was November the 17th, 2002. I never forget. Later on that day, they called out. They said, David L. Nelson, 1481-29, all the way. Everybody know what all the way mean. You free, you leaving. So that day, as I was walking down the hall, I hollered out, I'm going home today. 15 years later, I said, I'm going home today. 15 years later. And I walked down the hall, and all I could do, I was so emotional. I was thinking about Pop, and I knew Pop. I could feel his spirit somewhere. I know it. I know my man was gonna do it. I know it because he's disciplined. He motivated. When you're motivated, when you're disciplined, when you got that whatever inside of you, that drive, that commitment to yourself, forget about the naysayers, forget about what people say. When you got something inside of you and you can't rest, you can't eat, you can't sleep, it's called passion. That passion inside of you, it won't let you just sit down and do nothing. That passion will push you. And so I had a passion about what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a fitness trainer. I wanted to be a motivational speaker. And I wanted to be an artist. So I had all three of these things in my mind, and I kept telling myself, I'm gonna do this. I don't care what nobody say. I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna be the best that I can be when I do it. And nobody gonna stop me. Nothing and nobody gonna stop me. I'm gonna do what I want to do. And I kept telling myself there, and every chance I got, I always say, thank you, Pop. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Pop. Because without Pop, you would not have me today. Because this man instilled in my mind a long time ago, never give up, never quit. Bet on yourself. Always bet on yourself, because nobody else gonna bet on you. So I want to share something with you guys. I want you to understand, day in and day out, yeah, we do crazy stuff in our life when we're in our 20s or when we're in our teens. Even when we're older, we still do crazy stuff. But never quit on yourself. No matter what people say to you, don't give up on you. So let me tell you what it feels like to be inside that cage with Pop. I never forget this. It's called loud slamming of doors, razor wire, cold concrete wall, and stare that seemed to tell stories of wickedness, and lonely minutes turned to eternal days, full of anxiety. Uniform personnel are cold-hearted to the meat. Food, unseasoned leftovers, as served to dogs. Overheard stories of what has happened and what could happen. Numbers for name and a release date that seems so far away. Poems or songs of solitude are written behind those walls and never shared by the world on the other side. Pleas of innocence and tears from those who cry, I didn't do it. Old men and women who cannot imagine what the old house looked like anymore. Man with hate in their eyes and vengeance in their heart, saying and buying threats so when they get out, Satan is failed in every soul and sin is plentiful. Very sudden is God mentioned in the crowd. At nights whispered prayers of spokers in peace and solace and hope. And as you slip into an unrestful sleep, you ask yourself, is this prison of hell? To all the young men, to all the young women that are stuck into that cage, don't quit on yourself, bet on yourself, push yourself to the next level. Use your imagination, use your mindset. Reach down inside and pour that passion up out of you. You can do this. Anybody can talk about doing it. But when you have to go through it to do it, that's when you become a warrior. Do you understand what a warrior is? In a warrior's code, there is no surrender. Does your body say stop? Your mind cries never. Have a great day. God bless you. And I love you. And there's nothing you can do about it.